How do you know it's your video and not just, your AI presence? I think some people think I'm a bot, and no, I just don't sleep. But anyway, oh, they say that Jason is muted.
Of course. See, I told you I was going to mess something up. I told you. It was just going to happen. Anyway,
I mean, people can listen to me and not you.
Jen, have at
Normal.
it.
Go.
Okay, okay.
Your
So
show.
now that y'all can actually hear me, this is the June 2025 edition of the Windows Insider Webcast. Thanks to everybody who has tuned in, and to those of you who are watching this after the fact in the video on demand. I'm glad you made the time to come and check it out. Super excited to be here. It's been a couple months since we've done one, but we are back at it. These are always a hoot. I'm sure there's going to be some goofing off and some fun stuff, and looking forward to hearing the chatter and chat along the way. Before we introduce today's guests and get on topic, there's just one thing that I wanted to say. Got my Build hoodie on. I think Brandon has his on too. We did not coordinate this. It just kind of happened. Build represent what?
I didn't get invited. You got sporty goods today.
Hey, you need to get like a Post-it note and write Microsoft Build and stick it on your.
Aw. Yeah, I don't have any. I've got NASA socks. That's all I got.
Funny. But just real quick, for those of you who are interested in any of the content from Build, I just dropped the link to the official Build website, so build.microsoft.com, in chat. There's a ton of recordings, so the keynote from Satya is there. There's tons of session videos and content there if you want to check it out. So if you weren't there in person, a la Jen, sorry Jen. But to all the insiders out there who may not have been able to visit Build directly, if you want to check it out, go visit that link, and there's a ton of content you can pour over and learn a lot about what we presented there. So lots of good stuff. Brandon, Jen, before we jump into the fun stuff for the day, any announcements that y'all want to share with the community?
Yeah, we are not going to talk about any Windows releases or anything like that, nor are we announcing any new flights today. So just a PSA. We won't be answering those questions.
We did flight new dev and beta builds yesterday. So check for updates if you're running those channels.
So that's my PSA, and I will continue to reinforce that in the chat.
So Brandon, we don't get Windows 25 build 37580 today.
No, sadly no.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. Without further ado, let's hop into the good stuff. If you saw the newsletter that went out towards the end of May, or if you happen to see the, I don't know if they're still called tweets. I'm going to forever call them tweets. I don't care what the platform's called. If you saw the message we dropped this morning, we have the Click to Do crew here. We have so many folks from the Click to Do crew that I didn't actually have a big enough panel to put all of our videos into one panel to show everybody.
Like the Brady Bunch.
It's totally a Brady Bunch thing going on here. So what you will see in the video today is, you'll see me, Jen, and Brandon, at times. And then other times I'll flip over and you will see the glorious 6-pack of guests that we have from the Click to Do crew, which I am going to bring them on right now and get them to introduce themselves. I hope y'all are excited as we are. So that said,
You need to unmute.
Hey y'all, I am Leadix Clark. I'm a PM lead over here working on Windows experiences. And so really excited to talk to y'all about Click to Do. And we, so many people because we've had such amazing teamwork and collaboration kind of bringing this feature to y'all.
We were younger back then.
Yeah,
A lot younger. Wait, Jason,
I
are
should have
you
worn my
implying that
shirt.
there was were there days, Jason, where you had like Fabio hair? I see. I see. Okay, offline, secretly, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I have not been around quite as long as Cortana, but I've been along for the journey for almost all of, or I guess all of Click to Do. I'm a senior designer on the team and super excited to be chatting with you all today, give a little bit more behind the scenes.
Hey, yeah, I'm Jan Karahali. I'm the General Engineering Manager for the Click to Do team. Super duper excited to talk about Click to Do. Hoping to answer lots of questions from all of you.
Jason, if you didn't see, you're muted.
Yeah, I
just
just fixed
FYI.
it. I just fixed it.
Okay.
It's this is producer error. This is totally my fault. It's fixed now, but sorry. So nobody heard me talk about the history of Cortana. Gosh. See, I told you I was gonna find some way to mess this up. Anyway.
People can just guess.
We're only 8 minutes in, Jason. What is going on, man?
It's like a Mad Lib. Fill in the blank of what you're
Everybody's
about to
getting
say.
half the conversation. They're gonna be like, what is going on over there? It's all my fault. Anything that goes wrong today is totally my fault. So just let me give the feedback to me. All right, we'll keep going in the Brady Bunch squares. Pratik, you are up next.
Hey everyone, I'm Pratik Mistry. I'm a design lead on Windows, working on some amazing Windows experiences. Super excited to actually share some behind the scene things around Click to Do.
Awesome, thank you. And Jess?
Hey everyone, I'm Jess. I'm an engineering manager on Click to Do, so I report to Jan. And yeah, my team has had a ton of fun jumping into the Click to Do space and getting to deliver experience for all of you. So yeah, excited to share that.
All right, and in the bottom left square, Aisha.
Hi everyone, I'm Aisha. I'm product manager on the team and I work with all these wonderful folks. And it's a pleasure being here today.
Awesome. Well, now that everybody can hear me, thank you all for being here. Really appreciate y'all making the time. And I totally missed the if you were around back in the '80s, the whole Hollywood Squares thing. Oh man, if I could have actually built all 9 of us in, right? Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, enough.
You would have been center square, Jason.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's the prime real estate. Who's in the center square?
Yeah.
It would have had to have been Yuli. I would have had to have put you there. There's no option. There's no option. Well, this is not about me and introductions. Like, Click to Do is the star of the show. So, without further ado and less tomfoolery on my end, let me pass the mic over to y'all so y'all can get rocking and rolling. Let me know when you're ready to present.
Yeah, let's do it.
We are good.
So while that's coming together, yeah, I'll just talk for a minute here before we get going. Yeah, so Click to Do has been an amazing project. It's not often that you get a chance to sort of define a new paradigm in Windows. And when this opportunity came up, we were all like, wow, this is a lot and really exciting. And I'm just super duper excited that we were able to get it out to you all earlier this year. I will give you a few small fun facts, and then I'll hand off to Lee to kind of introduce the next part of this. the first whispers, like ideas around what is now Click to Do, started in 2022. So actually, this has kind of been like brewing, simmering for many years now. And it sort of had starts and stops, and could we do it? Did we have the technology to do it? All the way up to what you see now. Along the way, Click to Do has had many, many names. And in fact, some of these names still exist in the source code, to be honest. So it started as the first name ever was X-ray, like you're looking through the body of Windows. That evolved, and it was renamed to Discovery Mode. So but we all called it Disco. So we had lots of like disco balls. In fact, someone from the team brought in disco balls, and we had them all over our offices. Then we're like, well, okay, now we're going to move on. Now it is Screen Ray. So Screen Ray was around for a long time. And in fact, that was almost the shipping name. We were like that close. And then at sort of like the last hour, we switched to Click to Do. Now, I will admit, I was sort of like, what is this crazy name? We have Screen Ray, which is super cool. And now I absolutely love it. Like, I think the name is super cool. It's fun to say, and it really represents what it is we do. So anyway, that's a little short history of the last few years of us at least getting the name right. Lee, how do we get the product right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really comes down to what we're trying to do for users. And I think Click to Do does a really great job of highlighting that, which is I want to like analyze everything that's on my screen, but take action on content that I see. And that's kind of why I've been really passionate about this is how do we save users from unwanted clicks for helping them in their flow. I don't know about you, but every time I need to switch between applications to get things done, I lose my train of thought. And then I find myself 10 minutes down the road. What was that one task? What was I trying to do? And so just these small ways of helping you get more done without needing to leave your context, and saving things from copying, pasting, finding the right application. Those seconds, those minutes add up into time savings and helps me kind of get back to spending time with my family or spending time on what I love. So that's really what excites me about this is we're really finding these ways to make users more productive. And then also with the power of the NPU and our Copilot Plus PCs, being able to run things locally and keep more content and context private, I think really kind of speaks to me and the value that we can give to our users as well. Do we want to like jump ahead then to kind of a couple of demo videos? So if you hadn't seen this, you can get a feel for what it is. Thanks for
Let's do
being.
this. Is the audio coming through?
I think what you're seeing is I'm on my website. I want to look through a product information. I don't have time to read that. With a simple one click or a swipe, I can see that content on any application. And here in this case, it's a PDF and get a really quick summary of what that's about. And then here's another view of how we can help you with Click to Do kind of transform through kind of image actions as well.
Look,
oh yeah, there's the
you're busy.
audio.
You don't always have the time to make it make sense when studying or learning something new. But thanks to Click to Do found exclusively on Copilot Plus PCs, a simple Windows key and left click lets you highlight text and choose different actions in an instant, like rewriting or summarizing. Just select and go. Who doesn't?
Great. Yeah, thanks for the amazing intro. I can jump into a bit of kind of behind the scenes, like differentiating the Windows overall experience from Click to Do. So as mentioned, Click to Do is offering these really powerful actions on top of your content, but along with this comes a challenge. How do you make it clear when you are in this Click to Do state rather than normal windows or app actions? So for example, normally if you right click, you'll see app context menus being drawn. And so how do we make it clear, like you have this other set of actions coming up? So if you go to the next slide, this video is a bit abstracted, but it gives you a taste for the different elements that we're pulling in. So things like the entrance animation, the gradient overlay, the cursor state changes, the selection state changes, all these elements are working together to give you that sense that you are in Click to Do rather than a normal app. And then in the next slide, we have a breakdown of how these layers kind of stack up. So on the left, this is how kind of normal Windows layering works. If you click in an application, that is drawing that app context menu, allowing you to edit. And then on the right, we have that Click to Do kind of additional layers being drawn, like the toolbar, the overlay, the edge animation, and Pratik will go into more of that, like really finesse and polish that we put into all these elements. But yeah, all these things kind of coming together to help tell that story. And then there's one more slide we have of a quick look at the cursor states in Click to Do. And these hover states are super important to help you ground it and set the right expectations. Like, again, when you click, you're going to see Click to Do actions and not kind of normal app editing. And shout out here to our motion designer, Yu Sang, who did an amazing job looking at a lot of these animations and transitions. So I'll hand off to Pratik to go a bit more in depth on how we built this, all these different elements.
This is great. Like the motion is one essential part of the experience, and it's great that like we were looking at ground up from every aspect of the experience. But what is craft in general? And like let me start with two examples of what like two different things at the epitome of their businesses. There is two common things between these two products. One is a really industrial designed product. Another one is a food from a restaurant. Price is not the common factor here. One is like $1.50. Another one is $1,500, really expensive piece of technology. The common thing is they're at the apex of the recognition in their respective areas. And the common thread that ties both of these is experience that they're giving to their customers. First one is a Michelin star restaurant. It's a really small restaurant, like hole in the wall, but still at the apex or at the top of their business. And same thing with the teenage engineering field system, which is now showcased at SF MoMA. And like that experience or that obsession about the customer experience is what ties these two together. And that was the main inspiration. We were essentially redefining a click on Windows. And we had an experience initially that was functional, that was looking amazing in actual experience on the device, but we wanted to push it harder. Since this is a foundational change that we were bringing, where a basic click is redefined with a new layer being added on top of the windows, we wanted to push it harder. So we aspired and envisioned something new that kind of brings in that new definition of what that click could feel like on the experience, that brings that depth of the layer and differentiates from what your classic Windows is, and brings that intelligence layer on top with different elements that kind of does and break that perception. So the three things that we went into identifying what those elements that we will need First one was this ripple that flows through from the point of click. The second one is these particles that flow through from all direction, all the edges of the device. And then the last one was object hover. When you hover over individual like elements on the screen, we want to bring them up, show you all the accelerators that you will get on them to kind of go do something that you haven't done before. So starting with the ripple, we started with a really small kind of prototype in a website where we wrote out a shader. This has never been done on Windows before. Like in the core Windows code, we have never had a shader written. And so this was first time we wanted to kind of bring that in. So started with a simple code online, trying to figure out what would be the best ripple that we can bring in. What you will see here is basically a very amplified version of what went into the product. And then we started reaching out to different people who has expertise to kind of go get this done in the code. And within few minutes, like somebody just said, oh, like I would love to kind of help out on this. And they just started doing and working on it. And within few hours, we had it working in the real code. And that's how it felt on the screen, which was great. The ripple piece was figured out at that point. But then we ran into some compatibility issues between what Windows code is and what was it written in. And so we kind of reached out to one other expert. We kind of brought this community together in creative problem solving. So the case here is not making something pretty. It was more around actually creatively problem solving some of these pieces so that we have a best experience in the hands of our customers. So in the very quick time turnaround, we had it working, an actual app built. And same thing with particles. Again, we had a rudimentary kind of XAML code written that kind of shows that particle kind of working on the edges of the screen. Then we reached out to experts to make it really efficient. And yeah, in like matter of few days, few hours, we had it in the product code. And it was amazing to see the passion, irrespective of the team lines, kind of coming together, obsessing over the experience and bringing this like amazing thing together. And then the last one was object hover. Initially, when we were trying to do those weird artifacts that we were getting, the shadows weren't getting cropped around. And this is like the details that matters. And we just wanted to get it right. So again, we brought another community together. We got that figured out and finally had it in the product. So this is just 3 different pieces in a small example of how we were kind of going about creatively problem solving one hurdle at a time and obsessing over every little detail of click to do to make the experience as magical as we would want to.
And now I want a stingray plushie pancake. They even put the butter on top. Seriously?
That was because we were called Scream Ray at the time. We always had mascots at every phase.
You know, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together.
I really want one now. I didn't know I was missing that. Amazing.
Oh my goodness.
And then when all 3 of those come together, this is how it felt. This was like when the particles come together, when the ripple came together, when the object hover came together. This is how it all kind of felt together. So.
Wow.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of positive feedback in the chat about the animations and feel and just general usefulness. So they appreciate your efforts.
I don't know, Pratik, if you have more, like, it feels like there's a lot of the kind of that rainbow, the you saw it in the bloom. If there's some more you can share on kind of how we're using that for kind of AI as a brand.
The bloom or the ripple?
The ripple and the rainbow border, and how that echoes throughout all of our Copilot Plus PCs.
Yeah, like so. Every time we want to bring in something that is powered by an intelligence, there is a unique brand that we wanted to bring in. And the gradient is one way to express that brand. There's other ways that we are thinking. Animation was another one that kind of brings that persona of an intelligence kind of working and collaborating with you and accelerating your workflow. You'll see on Copilot Plus PCs, every time a search box is enlightened with an intelligence, it will have that distinct gradient on it. Similarly, Click to Do, since it is powered by a lot of these local AI models that runs on your machines and works alongside you, you get this distinct gradient, glow, the particle, and the ripple with it. And similarly, like you'll see more of those brand expression of intelligence coming through as you use the Copilot Plus PC more and more.
I know we also have the similar gradient for like text action loading states and some snipping tool loading states and kind of other like AI pieces throughout the shell. So it's nice how those kind of all come together.
Yeah, and people, like, if you have any unique scenarios, or if there are workflows that you are really excited about that you'll use Click to Do for, just comment in the chat, and would love to kind of just see if we can make it through in the product.
Can I jump in and throw one out here? I realize folks can't see me on screen because of the way the videos are configured, but hopefully they recognize my voice by now. I have to admit, the number of times that I've been in meetings and somebody is showing a link to a document of some sort or a Power BI dashboard or something, and I don't necessarily want to be like, hey, can you share that? Because I don't want to interrupt their flow or train of thought or something. And it's just like, okay, let me invoke that and just take it off the screen, and you just grab it and then I pull it up because like I want to jump ahead or I want to navigate or I want to filter differently or whatever the case may be. It's so easy. Like, I don't know what else to say other than it's easy. And it's just like, I've got what I need. I can share it in chat so other people can, reference it if they would like to. You didn't have to disrupt the presenter. That way they can continue on with whatever message they're trying to deliver. Like, it's such a simple use case, but I cannot tell you how many times that has made my life so much easier. Just one thing to, I'm sure y'all probably done it too, but just as a fan of this feature, I'm just letting you know, I really like it.
That is totally one of my top use cases. We're often talking about bugs and there's like some really long bug number and you're like, oh, what was that number? Click to do it. It's super awesome.
Oh my gosh. And the SharePoint links. Hey, can you give me that link? Oh yeah, it's $12 capital right. A lowercase Z. Like, no, it's not. I'm just gonna snag it out of the address bar here.
I have to say, like, mine, like, I do use that a lot, but I've found myself just using kind of the image search a lot. Like, I'm like, man, where'd they find that great visual? Or I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'm seeing something on screen and I want to shop for something or see where I can find something more like that, like those pair of shoes somebody's wearing. And this makes it even easier to do. So just like those simple kind of delighters, maybe it's a little bit of procrastination. Don't tell my boss.
It never happens at work, right?
I do use it that way too.
You're not supposed to come on here and rat yourself out. Yeah. Now it's on video.
Yeah, I've also
visual search is amazing. Like I've been using it a lot to kind of just cross-reference different products that I've been coming across, especially like really well-crafted, well-designed products. And sometimes they catch my attention. And like I just want to know who made it or who was the designer. And visual search is an amazing way to kind of get there. And Click to Do kind of affords me that in a very accelerated way.
Totally. Yeah, and even working on this feature, I still can't keep straight which image actions are in Paint versus Photos versus elsewhere. So that is a really nice shortcut to just be like, hey, where do I find blur background or remove object?
Yeah, cool. For me, it all happened when Click to Do is only available on Copilot Plus PCs, which I have a bunch of at work, but some of my PCs at home aren't. And when I'm at home, I'm like, oh my gosh, I really need that feature. And well, that's a good feature.
That's one of the problems with Whip in general, is I get so used to seeing things in preview, and when I'm on a computer that
Right.
doesn't have it, I'm like, wait, what is going on? Oh, that's right. Wrong build.
Yeah. But you know it's a good feature if you
Oh,
if you're missing
absolutely.
it, right?
That's how you've hit the mark. I was really like, I really need this to hurry up and get out. Like, everybody needs this.
Cool. I can jump into the next section. So, yeah, this was around designing for the text action models in Click to Do. And I think one of the unique challenges for designing for AI models is that you really cannot design in a silo. It's not put together the design spec, throw it over the wall to engineering. There's more of a constant back and forth between the what you think the model might do and the reality to make sure that the experience feels as seamless as possible. So this was like the initial kind of model proposal where we thought, okay, the response is going to be really fast. We'll have a quick loading state and then show you the whole response at once. So for example, like for summarize, you see this summarizing your text and then you get this whole text block back at once. But in reality, the model took longer to complete the text response. And we realized we could show the continuous updates as it went to make it feel like the overall wait time was less, and you can actually check out the answer while it's finishing loading. So we have then a couple more models we evaluated with B. If you go to the next slide, that is jumping to a fixed height. And we were thinking this way we can kind of avoid it going off the screen and kind of control like the overall positioning of the context menu. But overall, it just felt kind of awkward, like the response might be short or long. So then we finally landed on this third option, Model C, where we set a max height, but also show it growing. And that was kind of the right middle ground to have it feel as fast and seamless as possible. We also avoid it growing off of the screen. And then I think there's one more slide that shows a quick demo of this model in action. So just a little snippet of that video we saw before, where you see that text coming in, and then it will continue to grow until that text has finished coming in. So yeah, I think it's just interesting how like the design and development process are needing to be a lot closer tied together.
Hey, just on that, Emma, it's just been amazing. Like Pratik was talking about, just what a tight loop we've been in from engineering and design. You know, like you were saying, in the past, it's sort of been like, here's the design, throw it over the wall, and then we like code it. But like we're with you guys daily, riffing on this stuff. It's been super awesome. It's been great for me, and I assume
Yeah.
for Jess as well.
And like just to pile on that, like really like good crafted product happens when everybody gets together, gets their hands on it and mold it
For sure.
together, right? And the product making is less about individual discipline and it's more about, like, at least this is my personal belief, it's more about creatively problem solving together.
Yeah.
And everybody pitches in to solve a problem. So like it was amazing how collaborative this was when we kind of walked through, and how tighter like loop that we were running. Like I wish like everybody kind of adopts this model of working.
Yeah, and
Yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
I think it's really hard to say like, oh, here's the exact final design spec. It's great to get the input from the person actually building it and the PMs, and like some of the feedback we're getting in Selfo. So I feel like it's kind of evolved product making a bit to be more like continuous improvement versus build this thing and ship it. So yeah, it's been it's been great to see that kind of progression. And then I think myself and Aisha will talk a bit about some of the multimodal affordances and accessibility in Click to Do. So yeah, this has been a pretty exciting addition on the multimodal front in the last few months. And if you want to jump to the next slide. We've continued building on the multimodal story to ensure that no matter what posture you're in, Click to Do is easy to invoke and use. So we started out with WinQ as the main entry point, but this does not work well for something like tablet posture, where you have a detached keyboard, and that's not really something you can easily access. So we've added in these additional affordances for touch and pen. For touch, we've introduced this right edge swipe. So for those who use right swipe often for notification center, you can still change it back in settings. But this just gives a lot more customization in terms of how you want to use your PC. And similarly for pen, we've added in Click to Do in the pen tray as a default, but again, users can fully customize all of the preferences they want to see showing up there when they pick up their pen and are ready to take an action. And yeah, for each of these additional aspects, we kind of evaluated things like the entrance animation to make sure it still makes sense. So for example, when Q, we have the ripple coming out from where you click, but for right swipe, the ripple originates from the right edge. And things like the velocity and distance from the edge are all really important details that require a lot of love and tweaking to get the feel just right. So it was again like a huge collaboration here. Having a design spec, looking at how it was feeling in code, and making those adjustments. Well, and then I think
I'm sorry. Emma,
go
I was
ahead.
gonna jump in. Like, I think some of the things that I've been really kind of adapting to as well on kind of my new, more kind of tablet surface device is like with the pen, not just the, removing the pen from the tray and being able to use that entry point, but even the ease of double click. Like I see something, I double click on the end of my pen, and then I can do something with it immediately. Like all of those small accelerators to get something done with both touch and pen have just been kind of it kind of made me use the feature even more. So it's been really fantastic.
Totally.
Awesome. And then as we know, yeah, Click to Do has introduced a lot of new interaction paradigms, with it being at the top layer, but we still want to make sure it's as predictable as possible for users. So for example, we have put a lot of attention to detail on the keyboarding experience to ensure that different types of users can still interact and make specific selections of just the word or just the group or just a part of a group of text on your screen. And on the right here, we have a little bit of a behind the scenes of some of the process of how new keyboarding states get introduced. So for example, we wanted to make sure users can easily select text starting in one group and then ending in another group. And especially since we're looking at a lot of different diverse formats and layouts of text on your screen, since Click to Do is being used across a variety of applications, making sure that you have an intuitive way to get from one group of text to the other, and you're able to have like an intuitive selection. That was really important from a keyboarding perspective as well. And so this is a brainstorm of some different keyboarding methods that we used, and we worked really closely, as we mentioned, super tight back and forth with the dev team, the accessibility team, design, and just quickly prototyping and getting a feel for it to make sure we have the best keyboarding experience for this functionality.
Awesome. And then I get to talk to you all about filing feedback. So as you've heard a few times throughout this chat, we've talked about new paradigms. We've talked about like trying to get you to your stuff and trying to build an experience you all love. And we find that out by hearing from you all. So if we go to the next slide, we can see how you can get your feedback to us in the best way possible. So we have our entry point category in Feedback Hub, and anything you file through this will pretty much come to my daily triage. So I read through all of these, and it's really fantastic to hear from you all. We have our ideas on how we're using it internally. We see a lot behind the scenes of how it was built, but we're building this for you and ideally to save you time, make things predictable, and make you more productive day to day. So really excited to see folks excited to try this out. If you have had a chance, jump in there, give us your feedback, good, bad, everything in between, anything unexpected or anything expected. It was great hearing everyone share earlier about how this feature has worked for them, where it's been delightful. So we're super eager to hear from you all and make sure that we're building these into our future plans as well. So yeah, very excited to see more feedback.
Hey, yeah, just on that, like we're just getting started. Right? We just got this feature out, and we want to keep going, but we want to keep going in the right direction. So absolutely need feedback from all of you on what you want, what's working, what's not working. So looking forward to this. And I can attest, Jess literally looks at all of the feedback. She spends a good amount of time on that.
Totally.
Yeah,
And
so-
on the
Go for it.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to plus one. I think on the PM side too, we definitely look at the feedback in terms of how we prioritize. Because we have a lot, we want to add, but in terms of what we prioritize to bring sooner, it's definitely looking at your feedback helps us, bubble up the ones that we're hearing a lot from our users on.
Yeah, that's a great point as well. Like, even if you think, oh, they must know, like, tell us again. We love to hear it. We love to make sure we're prioritizing the right things here to make it a great product for you.
I cannot tell you how informative this
Jason,
has been.
yeah.
And I work at the company. Like, this is amazing. Like, it's always fascinating to get the behind the scenes look at how things come together. Because as an end user, even from an insider's perspective, what ships to WIP may not be what actually ends up making it out to the retail global customer base. Right? There's iterations, there's bug fixes, there's design changes, right? Sometimes things show up and sometimes they never make it into quote unquote production, right? It was a whip only feature, they got pulled back, or it was something we were testing from a, hey, should we do this type scenario? And to see a lot of that background, like y'all were talking about, it's amazing to see the amount of collaboration that went into this. And each little thing, like the number of sparkles, and like you were talking about, how far does it ripple in and how strong is the ripple, like all these little things, it's fascinating to watch the working process. It's fascinating to get to watch this come together internally, but it's something else completely different getting to watch the people that created this talk about it, because y'all have such a different experience. Like me getting to run Selfhost, I get to see the output as y'all make the changes. So I get to see iterations come to life, but I don't get to see what you're doing behind the scenes. That's your jobs. That's what you do every day. All of y'all work together, bringing all the different pieces and making it in, what it is at the end of the day. I'm just the guy sitting at the table trying to take a bite when it's done, right? I'm like, cool, you cooked this awesome dish. Let me give it a whirl. But the blood, sweat, and tears that go into making something like this, man, y'all did a really good job. Like, and like the six of you being here, you are representing so many people who put their hands together to make this work. I don't have a full list. I wouldn't even have time to sit there and read them all out. But I will just simply say a huge shout out, not only to yourselves, but to everybody else who still kind of remains behind the scenes, so to speak, for all the work that y'all put into bringing this to life. And I'm so excited to see what Gen 2 and Gen 3 and whatever y'all got up your sleeves, right? Because I know you've got stuff in the feedback hub, and I know users have made some suggestions, and there's always something new and magical forthcoming. And just as a
Sorry, I thought you were talking about me for a sec. Gen 1, Gen 2. I was like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm my clones.
oh goodness.
Keep going, keep going.
And like, and just, I mean, as a reminder to the folks who are watching this, whether you're watching it in real time or you're watching the video after the fact, like a lot of these were thoughts and ideas and progression. Like, not everything that you saw is exactly what's in the product, right? Some of this stuff was iterative thinking. Some of it was, hey, let's use this as a starting place. We know it's not what's going to end up looking like, but you have to start somewhere, right? It's like you were showing with the initial Ripple design of like stuff that didn't exist, and y'all literally created new stuff within the Windows ecosystem to bring this to life. It's literally magic, and y'all did a great job of making it actually look magical. Like, that is just awesome. I left them speechless.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. And like, at least for me, what kind of drives me in general is the love that customer give to the product when they use it, and the feedback that they give around that. Anything positive, negative, it's just a path forward. So anytime, like, all of this passion is just to make something good for customers and for people to actually get a little bit more productive, a little bit more fun on their machine. So
Absolutely. I will say I've been so engrossed in just listening and watching the demos that I have not even been paying attention to chat. That's totally my fault, but hey, it happens, you know. Not to mention fixing my own audio goof ups at the beginning of the session, which I told you, like, I jinxed myself because I said, oh, it's going to be fun. And of course I goofed it up. Brandon, Jen, anybody else who's been looking at chat, are there any, I know we've tackled a few things that came up along the way, but were there any outstanding questions that we should cover? Any kind of general themes that we should bring forward? And I'm actually looking over here, scrolling up.
I mean, just in general, there's a lot of excitement to expand availability of Click to Do to different form factors and in a variety of ways. A lot of folks are excited to try to feature out that they don't have Copilot Plus PC. So there is a lot of excitement for that, and I'm letting folks know that, hey, the Click to Do team is, seeing that feedback. But that's one of the key themes. And then as part of the discussion that we were having, some feedback came in on the ability to use voice with Click to Do. So I thought that was really interesting as well. So those are the key themes that I've seen. Jen, maybe there were some specific questions that I also missed, but that was it.
I think you covered it.
Lee, do you want to take the voice one?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I'd love to hear more from anyone and again, another plug for Feedback Hub and suggestions on how you want to use voice. I think anytime you saw us kind of romancing that multimodality around touch, keyboard, pen. We want to meet you kind of where you are and how you use your PC. So we're really eager to hear from you on, like, what are the kind of use cases, the scenarios, the moments when voice would really help you, so that we can really focus in on designing the best experience that we can for you.
Yeah, and I mean, there is a voice button right now. It allows you to find within the page. But yeah, I'd love to hear what more would you want that button to do, for sure.
Yeah. Hope folks can either leave comments in chat or definitely reach out to us on social media too, or put suggestions in Feedback Hub. So definitely let us know how additional voice improvements to Click to Do will help the flow there.
Awesome. Well, I gotta say, we are close to the end, so I think it's probably a great wrapping point. I mean, I've said this probably 5 times already, but thank you all so much. I appreciate y'all making the time. Thank you for presenting all this wonderful and beautiful content. Thank you for sharing it to the Windows Insider audience out there. it's great getting these behind the scenes looks, but most importantly, like I love being able to bring the reality of the work that goes on in the creation of these features to the folks who end up using it at the end of the day. We all use it, yes, but we don't just create, you know, these products and services to keep them internal, right? We deliver them to the world to enrich the lives of our users on, you know, how they interact not only with Windows but in being productive in their daily lives in whatever form and fashion they choose to. So just one more big thank you for all the hard work. Thank you for bringing this to life. Thank you for being here today. And you know, as we get some more progress in the future, I'm not going to break myself into jail by saying anything, but as things continue to change and move forward, it would be great to have y'all back on to share some more of what's coming next if y'all are up to doing that again.
Definitely. It's been awesome.
Definitely. This is great. I just shout out to everybody listening and asking questions, that we craft this for you and with your feedback. So just please keep it coming. Like everybody's work in web helps us make sure that the craft and the polish and the kind of that we're focusing on the details. So we just love anything that you share.
Yeah, thank you for having us, and thank you for giving us another pipeline of feedback through the comments here as well. So I'm excited to go through those. So yeah, make sure you're leaving comments and yeah, letting us know what you're thinking of the products.
Is it my face again, Brandon, Jason? Do I need to put on
I don't know. I don't know.
I think it is. I think I just saw my video on YouTube. I was just going to say, you know, the Feedback Hub only has an option for problems or suggestions. It doesn't currently have a kudos option. However, we do get insiders sharing feedback that's just kudos, both in the Feedback Hub as well as in social media. And it's always nice to see that. I know sometimes we do like pop-up surveys asking insiders explicitly for their reaction, but it's always nice to get an unprompted comment too. And just saying things are going great is always nice to hear.
Yeah. This has been a great session.
Oh,
it's been a lot of fun.
I
know.
Again.
I already caught it. I muted my mic. It's my fault. Me and the mute button are not friends today. Like, I don't have any excuses. I apologize to everybody that's watching. It's literally just me and my mute button going round and round. We're not friends today. It's
Didn't this happen when you were demoing live captions in a webcast ages back?
There was an entire section of one of the webcasts where there was just no audio, and you know, I don't know what to say. It happens. I'm human. I'm not a professional studio production artist.
You, though?
You'd think after doing this for 8 years that I'd be good at it by now, but it's a hobby, I guess, right? It is definitely not the main part of my job, but it is one of the most fun pieces of my job, and that's why we keep doing these. So, but with that, unless y'all have anything else, I say we wrap here. This has been a really fun episode, and big shout out once again to the Click to Do folks for being here. So on behalf of them and behalf of everybody you didn't get to see that's been working on this product, and of course my cohorts here, Brandon and Jen, it's been a blast. Thank you all once again for tuning in. If you've got any feedback, again, chuck it in the Feedback Hub, rewind in the video and see the category and context for Click to Do. It's desktop environment Click to Do. We're happy to hear whatever you may have, good, bad, everything in between. But that said, we'll wrap here, and until next time, thank you all for tuning in, and thank you for being part of the Windows Insider program. We will see you next time.